Have you ever had a moment that just sticks with you? A single, tiny slice of time that changes everything? It's not always the big, loud moments. Sometimes it's the quiet ones. The ones that sneak up on you when you're not looking. For me, these moments almost always happen when I'm on the road, far from home, a little lost, completely open to whatever the world has to throw at me. It's in these spaces between the familiar and the unknown that life really happens. This isn't just about seeing new places, it's about letting those places see you, seeing a new version of yourself. People often ask me why I travel. They see the pictures, the exotic locations, the seemingly endless adventure. The truth is, I'm not chasing sights, I'm chasing feelings, I'm chasing connections. We are all fundamentally the same. We all seek comfort, we all crave connection, we all want to feel alive. It was my first time in Hanoi, Vietnam. The city was a beautiful chaos. The sound of a million motorbikes filled the air, a constant hum that was both overwhelming and strangely soothing. I was wandering through the old quarter, a maze of narrow streets. Streets for bamboo, streets for silk, streets for metalwork. I was completely and utterly lost, but in the best possible way. The smells were incredible. Fragrant herbs, grilling meat, fresh-baked bread, and the sweet scent of incense drifting from small temples. It was a full-on assault on the senses. I turned down a tiny alley, barely wide enough for two people to pass. It was quieter here. Tucked into a corner was a small, unassuming food stall. It was just a woman, a massive steaming pot, and a few tiny plastic stools. A hand-painted sign in Vietnamese hung above her. I had no idea what it said. An old man looked up, smiled a toothy grin, and gestured to the empty stool next to him. I felt welcome. I sat down on the ridiculously small stool, my knees almost up to my chin. The woman didn't ask what I wanted. She simply ladled steaming broth, noodles, herbs, and placed it in front of me. It was pho, but different. Richer, darker, filled with fresh greens I didn't recognize. I took my first spoonful, and the world just stopped. The broth was complex and deeply flavorful, a perfect balance of savory, sweet, and spice. It tasted of history, of family, of a recipe passed down through generations. We didn't share a language. We didn't exchange a single word. But we shared a meal. We shared a moment of simple, human connection. When I finished, I paid a ridiculously small amount. She bowed her head slightly, more genuine than any five-star service. Walking away, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't felt before. That bowl of soup in Hanoi did more than just fill my stomach. It fundamentally changed my understanding of food and connection. Before that, I associated great food with fancy restaurants, white tablecloths, expensive bills, more about status than substance. That simple, perfect bowl of pho, served on a plastic stool in a forgotten alley, shattered that illusion completely. The best food is about honesty, tradition, love, ingredients prepared with care by someone who's been doing it their whole life. Years ago, I decided to go hiking in the Scottish Highlands. I had this romantic idea of myself as a rugged explorer, walking through misty glens with nothing but a map, a compass. The reality was a bit different. I was unprepared for the sheer scale and wildness. The weather turned in an instant. One moment, sun lit the purple heather. The next, a thick, cold fog swallowed the mountains. Visibility dropped to a few feet. I checked my map, then my compass, then the map again. Somewhere along the way, I had taken a wrong turn. The trail vanished into bog and gray mist. Panic started to creep in, a cold, primal fear. I was alone, lost, daylight fading, no signal. Every direction looked the same. I had to make a choice. Wander aimlessly or stop, calm down, and think logically. I found a rock, sheltered, and sat down. Heart pounding, I forced slow breaths. I closed my eyes and listened. Wind through grasses, a distant stream. Calm returned. I was a tiny speck in a vast, ancient landscape. I remembered, if you're lost, stay put and conserve energy. So that's what I did. Lukewarm tea, a squash sandwich, and then the fog began to thin. Through a break, a distant peak I recognized. It gave me a direction. I took a bearing and started walking, slowly and deliberately. That experience taught me self-reliance, to rely on my own wits. Terrifying and empowering. When panic faded, I discovered calmness and resilience I didn't know I had. I could think clearly under pressure. I used to fill every quiet moment with noise, distractions. In that mist, I learned the difference. Solitude can be a source of strength. It's one thing to admire from a window or viewpoint, another to be at its mercy. The Highlands weren't hostile, but indifferent, powerful, ancient. They demanded respect. I learned the importance of preparation and humility. Nature isn't a playground, it's a living entity on its own terms. Getting lost helped me find a part of myself. I walked out of that mist different. more confident, comfortable in my skin, aware of my inner strength. It was difficult and frightening, and one of the most valuable lessons of my life. Sometimes you have to get a little lost to truly find your way. We had been riding camels for hours, deeper and deeper into the Moroccan Sahara. The sway, the soft crunch, the endless golden dunes. Our guide, a Berber man named Hamid, led us with a quiet confidence, calming and impressive. Sunset painted orange, pink, purple. At camp the sky exploded with more stars than I had ever seen. Cold night, a campfire, tagine. They sang traditional Berber songs, voices carrying into the vast silent desert. No electricity, no cell service, no connection to the outside world. Only the fire, the stars, the music, the company of new friends. I fell asleep in a wool tent wrapped in profound silence and absolute peace. Hamid woke us before dawn, crisp air. We climbed a massive dune, feet sinking into cool sand. We sat wrapped in blankets and waited. Pre-dawn, soft gray shadows. Then it began. A faint sliver of light on the eastern horizon, slowly, soft pink, then brilliant orange. The sun rose, casting long, dramatic shadows, setting the sand ablaze with golden light. The world was completely silent. No birds, no traffic, no human noise, only light and shadow unfolding. The desert transformed to warm, glowing light. I felt incredibly small, a tiny witness to something ancient and powerful, a moment of pure, unadulterated beauty, watching the world being born again, front row seat. Watching that sunrise was a lesson in perspective. Day to day, small problems loom. A missed deadline, a traffic jam, an annoying email. On that dune, a spectacle happening every day for millions of years made my problems as small as grains of sand. The Sahara was the opposite of our buzzing screens. Silence and disconnection forced presence. I wasn't thinking about work or social media, I was there, feeling wind, sand, breath, a reset button for my brain. Hamid and his family showed me a different kind of wealth. Strong family bonds, deep connection to culture and land, generosity of spirit. They shared food, music, their home, with complete strangers, with open hearts. It reshaped my idea of success and wealth. That sunrise was more than beautiful, it was a spiritual experience connecting me to nature, time, the universe, awe I still carry. When overwhelmed, I close my eyes and remember the silence, the vastness, the slow, steady rise of the sun. My problems are small, the world is big and beautiful. Kyoto in the rainy season, beautiful under a constant drizzle. I boarded the wrong bus, confused and frustrated. An elderly woman invited me to sit, used gestures and a few words, led me off, held her umbrella over us, waited, and made sure I got on the right bus. I was so touched I almost cried. Her compassion spoke louder than words. Omotenashi, service from the heart without expectation. The real treasure of that day was her kindness. New Orleans moves to its own rhythm. A woman with a feathered umbrella grabbed my hand. "Come on, baby!" I joined the second line and just let go. They weren't celebrating anything in particular, just life. It taught me to say yes, to celebrate the everyday, to find joy now. So there you have it. A bowl of soup, a misty mountain, a desert sunrise, a kind stranger, a dance in the street. What is a travel moment that changed you? Drop your story in the comments. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit subscribe now, share, and like.